What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So it's been a couple days since I did a video, and I apologize real quick. Tuesday night I couldn't do a live video. Just so happens I'm a dad before I'm a YouTuber, so I've said that before. So when things come up, I didn't get to do a live video Tuesday night, so I will be live Friday. Hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be live Friday, and we'll do a beer with Matt on Friday. So that's for all the people that missed that, and I apologize not giving you advance notice. So we're going to talk about a couple things today. So I was over at LinkedIn. That's one of the websites I was on. It's like my business profile and stuff like that. And I made a couple contacts, and I saw one of the videos that they posted, and it got me thinking, like, oh geez, yep, I definitely got to do a video regarding this. I've covered it before in the past in various videos. I kind of put it in with various videos, but I've never actually done a specific video based on this. Okay, so I'm doing a specific video for this. So use good equipment. Don't make shortcuts when it comes to carrying a gun. Do not make shortcuts. Okay, get a good holster. Don't do aftermarket trigger jobs. Don't do stuff like that. I'm going to be talking about this because there was a picture in our video. This guy, it looks like he's some sort of gun shop or something like that, and they're just sitting there talking, and you couldn't tell what the conversation was completely, and he was just like, yeah, that's what training's for. Then he takes his gun and he puts it kind of a really crappy looking holster, appendix. He throws it appendix, crappy looking holster. Supposedly this guy had really bad, one of those fancy trigger jobs on it and all this other stuff in a really crappy holster. He put all this time and money into the actual firearm. You might want to put some time and money into an actual holster itself. He puts it in his body and he's like, no big deal. And they're talking about whatever. Then he goes over to reach and grab a bag. He reaches down and boom! Shoots himself in the leg. Looks like he shoots himself in the high leg. And he's screaming, he's on camera, and he shot himself in the leg. When you have a firearm, one of the biggest mistakes, especially when it comes to striker fire pistols, one of the biggest mistakes people do with striker fire pistols, that looks like that's what he was carrying. Couldn't tell exactly, if video was a little fuzzy, my guess would be some sort of Glock, is when you put in aftermarket triggers, the lightweight triggers and all this other crisp trigger pulls. When you put that type of stuff in, when you take the shortcuts when it comes to a bad holster, that makes kind of a really bad, dangerous combination. It really does. Because when, for example, we'll talk about Glock real quick. For example, a Glock is a strike fire pistol, all right? There's when you pull the trigger, there's a little bit of a take up in the trigger, so it's a little sloppiness in the trigger. People don't like that. It was actually designed to have that in there. Has a little sloppiness, and then it comes to almost a wall. Actually, sometimes it feels like there's one short wall and then there's another second wall that you come to. Then when it comes to the wall and the trigger's about to break, then you squeeze the trigger. So it's usually about like 5-6 pound trigger pull. I've heard 7 too. It's usually between 5 and 7 is usually standard what it is for that trigger pull. And it's actually a really nice trigger pull once you take the slack out and you actually put it on the trigger. It actually makes it a very safe firearm to use because you got that little extra slack in it. When you go like a double single action pistol or a double action only pistol, there's a long trigger pull, all right, which makes it kind of a relatively very safe trigger when it comes to carrying it. But if you take all the internal components out and you put in some new fancy aftermarket speed trigger, whatever this stuff is that has this no kick, no take up, no other stuff, now you have an air trigger. Now you're carrying it. Now don't ever carry a competition trigger, as I'm calling it. Don't have a competition trigger on a defensive gun. All right, that's just dumb. All right, that's just dumb. It's designed that when you pull it out, you barely breathe and the damn thing shoots. Helps speed up in competition. I see how people do that. Defensive situation, when the adrenaline's pumping, everything else is going, you lose your feeling, you lose your strength. You don't lose your strength, you gain strength, but you can't tell. You almost don't have control of it, and that's when bad things happen. Especially if you take that much stuff out of the trigger, and you simply touching it, and damn thing is gonna go off. So that's like if you're holstering it and unholstering it, and you're one of those speed monsters that are always trying to do it really fast, and you accidentally brush it, or a little piece of clothing gets in there, and you have that light hair trigger, the adrenaline's pumping, and cortisol's pumping, and all that other stuff, you're gonna end up in the hospital. All right, now, when it comes to, I've said it before, when it comes to firearms, the people who make the firearms know a hell of a lot more about that firearm than you. So if they make a defensive firearm, say like a Glock 320, a modern day strike fire pistol will do that, like a Glock 320. The people who make it know what they're doing when they put time and effort into it. They may make a few mistakes here and there, but for the most part, when it comes to the actual safety ways of carrying it and everything else, they know what they're doing. The most malfunctions I see in one of the modern day fighting pistols is because people put in aftermarket crap. All right, the aftermarket crap is that it's crap. I don't care how badass they say it is, titanium, whatever it is. I don't care how badass they say it is. That stuff is crap. All right. What there's some instructors out there. I'll tell you that they come out in the range and most of them will carry the extra parts that they had onto it, and they're having malfunctions left and right. So then they say, "Let me see your gun." And they take out all the parts and they put the actual standard in, and then go figure, the gun just starts working again. So don't soup up your defensive firearm. All right, don't freaking tactical up your freaking defensive firearm. A defensive firearm is for defense. So if you want like a speed gun or speed with a speed trigger, get a competition pistol. All right, and use that. But don't even think about carrying that competition pistol because that's just not a good combination. And then on the other note, if you're gonna get a holster, if you're gonna spend money and you're gonna put all this special stuff into the gun and you're gonna deck it out and get all this fancy stuff on it, you should probably get a good holster too. All right, you should probably pay money for the holster. Don't take shortcuts. If you find a good quality, affordable one, yeah, those ones are good too. But don't go with like an Uncle Mike's or a crap over the counter type of thing because a lot of those, they just don't make the cut. They just don't. I've seen most negligent discharges that I've seen. It's on social media and all this other stuff. It's funny because most of them were in like some sort of Uncle Mike's holster, like a felt holster or something like that, or a really crappy aftermarket suede holster. All right, that's where most of the mistakes come from. So for your carry guns, guys, I'm throwing it out there again. So that's the last time I'll say it. So I don't bore you to death. Keep the internal components as they are. If you need to change things out, change out the sights. All right, change out if you can't reach the mag release, put a little bit longer one on there. But don't pull out the internal components. All right, the internal components of the action components, and don't completely swap them off with some top dollar aftermarket parts because it's not worth your life, for one, and two, it's just not going to work. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about me. And remember, it's our responsibility to take care of each other and protect each other. Peace.